my own country's treating me like a criminal. Because I believe that they stole my rightful president. And just standing up for my country, it makes me a criminal. And it's just not right. I feel so weird to be here. Over 3 years ago.
Would you throw away years of friendship because you found out your friend was a Trump supporter? So one of my friends, who's indigenous, found out that one of her friends is a Trump supporter. They've been friends about 6 or 7 years, and it just never came up in conversation. I think it could be because they might have just assumed the other one had the same belief system, and it just didn't come up. Well, it came up today. So my friend said something about being
6 or 7 years of friendship and it never came up once. Then the moment it does, everything falls apart. Here's the thing people keep getting wrong. Voting isn't just a preference like your favorite color. When someone co-signs policies that erase your culture and your history, that's not a political difference anymore. That's them telling you exactly how much they value your existence. And you're supposed to just smile and keep showing up for brunch. In Darden, he said it with compassion, but he didn't sugarcoat it either, and that balance is rare because the easy thing is to just pile on and say you deserve everything you got. But the harder and more honest thing is what he did. Acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the humanity, and then say clearly, you cannot vote for cruelty and then act shocked when cruelty shows up at your door. This woman's boyfriend came here legally, went to school here, paid taxes, never touched a court system, and is still being threatened with deportation while she voted multiple times for the person making that happen. At some point, the lesson has to land, and the only way it lands is if someone's willing to say it plainly without flinching.
Upset about how Trump's administration wants to basically rewrite history and get rid of things in the African-American community, in the indigenous Native community, the Mexican-American community, just all of it. And then the other person went in. So my friend feels completely betrayed. She's like, how could you possibly? So she's confused. She's like, how could I have a friend who feels this way about people who look like me? So that is what she's going through. So what would you do?
6 or 7 years of friendship and it never came up once. Then the moment it does, everything falls apart. Here's the thing people keep getting wrong. Voting isn't just a preference like your favorite color. When someone co-signs policies that erase your culture and your history, that's not a political difference anymore. That's them telling you exactly how much they value your existence. And you're supposed to just smile and keep showing up for brunch. 6 or 7 years of friendship and it never came up once. Then the moment it does, everything falls apart. Here's the thing people keep getting wrong. Voting isn't just a preference like your favorite color. When someone co-signs policies that erase your culture and your history, that's not a political difference anymore. That's them telling you exactly how much they value your existence. And you're supposed to just smile and
Jesus and Lord.
I had a little visit with MAGA Mom yesterday, and her husband was there, and it may have been the most depressing one yet. I showed them my Support for Ukraine bracelet. She said, did you just like those colors? And I said, no, I support Ukraine in the war against Putin.
the body, double theory, the lizard people. Biden wasn't really Biden, and this woman is sitting there trying to have a real conversation about a war where people are actually dying. This is what years of conspiracy content does to a person's brain. They've completely lost the ability to distinguish between a meme and geopolitical reality. And what's heartbreaking here isn't even the politics. It's that this is her mom. Someone who raised her now genuinely believes the sitting president was replaced by a lookalike. And the saddest quote of the whole story, well, that's Alaska. That's not going to affect me. Total detachment from anything that doesn't show up at their front door.
Interjects and says, hey, did you see Biden, his very last speech that he made on TV? And I said, yeah. He said, you know, that wasn't him. I said, was it one of the lizard people or an alien? No, it was someone who looked like him. but it wasn't him. So then I said, since when are you boomers voting for Putin? Since when have you turned tail and now we're all excited about Russia and Putin? And the saddest thing I ever heard was my MAGA mom say, well, they're not really our neighbors, so I don't think we have to worry about Russia. So I say, do you want me to show you on a map just how close we are to Russia within walking distance? She said, well, that's Alaska. If they go after Alaska, that's not going to affect me. And I said, so as long as it doesn't affect you directly, you really don't care. That's correct. So I think the lack of empathy is dead doggone there, and the lack of sympathy and caring for others. It was sad.
I don't feel sorry for them either. I don't, at all. This is what they wanted. So when they get it, sorry, many people don't deserve the empathy. And I think this is another group that does not deserve our support. Because yes, you can make mistakes, but you also deserve the consequences of your mistakes. Your guilt does not absolve you. It just makes you human.
So here's the craziest thing to me now.
Short line, massive weight, guilt without accountability is just self-pity dressed up as conscience. You can feel bad all you want, but that doesn't reverse a single policy or rebuild a single relationship. Consequences aren't punishment. They're just reality catching up to the choices you made. Own it or don't, but don't expect a standing ovation for feeling bad about it.
Now my comments are flooded with Trump voters that are like, it's none of your business who anybody voted for, and if you don't like someone because of who they voted for, then you're crazy. And I have news for you guys. No one's going to be happy with you except yourselves. No one's going to see you as members of a community because you're voted against everyone in your community. And you may not see it that way, and I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, you can't have submitted your vote and then be afraid of what people think of that, because you did that to yourself. You set yourself on that side of the line intentionally, and whatever, you had your reasons, fine. But do not expect people to be nice to you about it. Do not expect people to consider your feelings about it. And do not expect people to maintain the same relationship with you once they find out that you cast your vote that way. It's not just a vote, and you know that. You can't vote for a fascist and wonder why people are upset. It boggles the mind.
And gestures to Trump, and that is the lack of empathy thing. You know what I'm talking about.
He's doing
it's all
Nazi
over its
hand
videos,
gestures?
all over the internet. He does
Trump
the hand
is.
thing. Yes, he does. And you can sit here and overcomplicate it and make it a difficult thing, but it's not that.
He's 18. He's 18. If you want to know what
they're
issues
adults.
that we're having, the Monuments Clause, they're not following that. They're not following due process for immigrants.
They are.
They're also not allowing Congress to take care of their own rights, which is to make sure that everything is appropriate correctly, and that all the departments that are running our government get the resources that they need.
Instead, are those crimes?
Those are really a fine line.
She's standing at a protest asking a completely legitimate question and getting stonewalled. Are these things crimes? Is bypassing Congress a crime? Is ignoring due process a crime? These are not trick questions. These are civics. But the moment you ask someone to actually define what they believe in beyond slogans and vibes, suddenly nobody knows anything. Hold up a sign saying they're committing crimes, but can't cite a single statute. Scream about law and order until someone asks them to apply that standard consistently, and then it's crickets. The intellectual honesty just completely evaporates.
His sign just said that they're committing crimes. All I did was ask.
Is appropriate correctly, and that all the departments that are running our government get the resources that they need.
Instead, are those crimes?
Those are really a fine line.
His sign just said that they're committing crimes. All I did was ask.
I generally don't laugh at people's misfortunes because that's not a good thing. But in this case, you fucking loser. You thought that white supremacy was going to protect you from the fact that you're still a Middle Eastern brown man, and to them you will always be an other. You model minorities always find out the hard way, don't you? You will always find out the hard way. And by the way, Have you heard from the Miami Cubans recently? They've been real motherfucking quiet since they lost that protection from the DHS, right? Now they're getting deported just like everybody else. Pero they will vote for Donald Trump. They will vote for Donald Trump. How's that going?
If one Trump voter finding out is funny to you, how about a whole town of them? Crisfield, Maryland is a seafood town in Chesapeake Bay. It's been called Maryland's Trumpiest city. In fact, here's a picture of a Trump-themed boat parade hosted in that town. All aboard the SS Bootlicker. The town had been facing flood risks for quite a while. In fact, they were a recipient of a major FEMA grant for flood relief, which was meant to hold the town above water. Literally. But the man they voted for just terminated the grant. Just like that. And the flooding is getting worse and worse. Now, you don't need to be an economist to know that a flood can really impact a town's economy. Businesses have to close, and even businesses that are open, their employees can't get to work. No business wants to expand in a town that's flooding. And these Trump suckers are just begging to get that grant back. Hold on. Are these hard-working, bootstrapping conservatives begging for a government handout? Stop complaining. Take some personal responsibility instead of relying on the government to take care of you. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is what you...
The bootstrap crowd is now begging for a government grant. A whole town, boats and flags and parades and everything, voted hard against government spending, against federal programs, against all of it. And now their streets are flooding, and businesses are closing, and they want their money back. This isn't even irony at this point. It's a masterclass in how ideology collapses, the second it becomes personal. They didn't want government help until they needed government help. And now the very thing they celebrated dismantling is the thing standing between them and a flooded basement. You made your bed, now float in it.
Voted for, after all. You know how they say, you made your bed, now lie in it? Well, you can't lie in your bed because your room is flooding.
It's just a reminder that even if you align yourself with whiteness as a person of color, that does not mean you will be fully accepted. I feel really terrible having to make this video, but I recently found out that a friend of my family is facing deportation. Through no fault of her own, obviously, but the government picks and chooses who to deport, and most of the time, it's innocent families being broken apart. In this case, this woman has been in the United States for decades. She's a Vietnamese immigrant. She is a Republican who married a white Republican man out in Fresno. Problem is, one day they showed up, arrested her, and now she has an ankle monitor and is facing deportation to where? We don't know. They're actively looking for a place to deport her to because she has absolutely no connections or roots to her home country anymore. She is shocked. She's like, I can't believe this. I voted for Trump multiple times. I can't believe they would do this to me. It's because the administration and white people, white conservative people, do not care.
I can't believe they would do this to me. That sentence right there is everything. Decades in this country, married into the community, voted the right way every single time, and still ended up with an ankle monitor facing deportation. The institution doesn't care about your loyalty. It never did. You were useful until you weren't.
About you as a person of color. Even if you think you are aligned with whiteness, they will always betray you when it benefits them. And even if your close circle sees you as one of them, the institution itself does not. To them, you will always be an immigrant, which is completely sad and terrible. I feel horribly for this person, but keep in mind this is not a unique story.
Call me crazy, but I think it's actually wild as fuck for y'all to be asking us to donate to the future farmers of America when if they voted the right way, the money that they were getting previously, they would still be getting, and they wouldn't be out here penny pinching poor people for money. You won't get my change. I voted for you to get money. You voted against it. Good luck in the future.
Did this Trump supporter vote for this?
My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom.
Your boyfriend came from Venezuela. You do know Trump used the Alien Enemies Act to go after Venezuelans who were seeking asylum in America. So according to Trump, your boyfriend is probably an illegal alien terrorist invader. When Trump says illegals poisoned the blood of America, he meant your boyfriend.
He graduated high school here, he goes to college, he's always worked, he pays taxes, he's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported. My daughter is 3 years old.
This is terrible, but you need to understand, when you voted for Trump, you voted for other people to feel the pain that you're feeling now.
And I don't think anybody is understanding how dangerous it is in Venezuela right now.
Yeah, we know it's dangerous in these countries, which is why America has asylum laws. The same asylum laws Trump is illegally shutting down right now. And if you want to come and advocate for, we're going to fight for you. We're going to fight for you, fight for your boyfriend, fight for your child. We need you to fight for everyone else in the world. We need you to join us. Please care about your neighbors, care about your fellow humans, not only your fellow Americans, but your fellow people in general. And if you vote for disastrous, terrible, inhumane policies, like someone like Trump proposes, it will come back to haunt you eventually. It's a really tough lesson. I hope the best for you, but you need to shift your worldview. Please drop a like, repost this video, and follow my page.
Going viral after a MAGA mom who's on SNAP benefits called out her family for not lending her money for groceries. In this Facebook post, this mom said that her husband is on the GI Bill and she has 2 kids. She continues by saying she's at her wit's end and she's overwhelmed and doesn't know what to do. She said that she asked her husband's mom, and the mom responded with, "You voted for this." Now, of course, I had to read through the comments section on this post, and the comments varied. In reading the comments section of the post, it looked like people were split. Some, who have great relationships with their family in light of different political stances, said they would help.
After the 2024 election, and after Trump more or less replicated George W. Bush's 2004 performance with Latinos and even Black Americans, right, to begin to reconstitute that Bush coalition, there was a lot of, I would say, crowing among Republicans. Like, oh, we are now this multiracial working class coalition. But it's important to sort of distinguish between an electoral coalition and a durable party coalition. A durable party coalition is pieced together through all kinds of moves, through all kinds of actions over time. Trump was able to assemble an electoral coalition that put him over the top. But the administration equated that with having bound those voters to the political project. And that's not what happened. It could have happened. There was a path to do that. But what happened instead was, operating under the assumption that the battle had been won, the Trump administration and the Republican allies in Congress just began to pursue every single ideological hobby horse and bugaboo that they have. And the result has been that this nascent coalition immediately began to fall apart. Right? Because a bunch of these voters weren't voting for snatch and grabs of brown people off.
This is the part that gets buried under all the noise. A lot of those voters who switched weren't ideological converts. They wanted cheaper groceries, maybe a check, some economic relief. They were not signing up for chaos and mass deportations and gutted federal programs. And the administration assumed that winning meant owning those voters permanently. That's not how it works. An electoral win buys you a chance to build something durable, not a blank check to chase every ideological obsession on the list. And now the polling shows it. Every single gain made with minorities, with young men, with working class voters, gone, and in some cases reversed beyond where it started. You had a real coalition forming and chose the hobby horse instead.
The streets, they were voting for maybe another stimulus check. And the polling shows this. Among Black voters, among Latino voters, among young voters, young men in particular, every gain Trump made in 2024 hasn't just reversed itself, but has gone basically fleeing in the other direction.